Gravity. I'll take a crack at it. Gravity. The force that holds people to ground. Based on the fact that people can't fly. But birds can. No, they have to come down, but they can stay up longer than people that cannot fly. Which birds? Gravity. Um, yeah, I'll take a crack at it. Hmm. Where was it birthed from? What goes up must come down. Perpetual flight being the goal, or based on atmospheric pressure and what I would guess is how cold it gets, and then variables of oxygen would probably be the route I would go with. Um, there's oxygen in a certain atmosphere where but it's oxygen. So I'd focus there first, but gravity. Um, Long story short, there would have to be a sun powering the sun. So I mean, if you're gonna start from there, it's not self-sustaining. It couldn't be. So then figure out where some what you guys call a star, I'll call heat. It's coming from similar to look. You have a microwave, you have a stove. Something's powering it. If it's not gonna continue having power. So that just to me. A self-sustaining life force is what you're looking at when you even look at the stars. So I mean, it's self-sustaining. That in itself is self-sustaining. Um, can you be self-sustaining? Um, Underwater, no. On land, you no. So I mean, you're not self-sustaining. Um, Gravity. what was the latest theory? I'm not talking about like 1993. From last time I got just is stupid, but I'm sure AI can come up with this. Uh, what? Thank you. Can you be an example of this? Thank you. Well, if you're gonna be bitchy about it, what? We'll explain this real fast. Hold on. I'll use my cat. We and okay. Hmm. Now you exist, right? So there is that. So what? Now watch this. Let's pretend. Let's just pretend I'm God. Let's pretend you have the ability. Now you come when I call. You do what I say. So whether you like it or not, you have a force that is pulling you towards doing what I want you to do. If I want you over here, then I move your food source. You'll go there. Now watch this. If you do not want that food source, then I take it away. Now you have no food source. And I simply put it here. But you still have free will. That is the ability of your free will. Here, watch again. Because if you don't have a food source, then what happens? See how you move? So something freezes, your crops go up, you have no food, you have no air, you inevitably are going to. Now, gravity in itself, it's pretty simple. Has its purpose. Now, I think the real question that I would ask is you blast things off into there, like this, right? Elon Musk or somebody. Here, pick this thing up, put it in there. Okay. Are you in the air? Hold on. Let's see. What? Are you in the air? Are you in the sky? Stratosphere? Hmm? You're there? Hmm. Yeah. What's it like? Is it cold? Do you have a spacesuit? Okay. What did you see while you were up there? Was it fascinating? It was a whole different world. Okay. And then back down to earth. All right. So what? Were you up in the air or not? Were you up in there? The cat was up in the air. Well, what's the difference? Like there's no difference, right? There is a huge difference. Now, back to the food source, right? Because it's gonna be survival. I think Darwin went so far to try and disprove this. I would challenge somebody. Go without it. See what happens. So then you have what's you guys' word? Finite. Um, Aside from life expectancy, without even contemplating gravity, you have that uh, problem. Uh, I wouldn't say problem, but I would say it's a fascinating question. Gravity. So is the Earth round, oblong, flat? But what keeps it where it is? From what I've been told, it's how many miles away from the sun versus. Hmm. Otherwise, the sun would heat it up, but what's powering the sun? Is it self sustaining? And why should it be? Um, mm, but it has remained. And it's rotating around this sun. That's why? Why is it rotating? It must be controlled. Or inevitably, there'd be no order to anything. It would. How long would this last? Ball moves. There it goes. What do you think? Well, what do you think? Hmm. Are you the size of the sun or the earth or oh, there's a moon. There's a moon gravitational pull. Now that brings a whole different tides. Tide comes in, tide comes out. There's obviously an invisible force that pay attention. What? 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 And why? Huh? Doesn't seem cruel, but it's not. What? What if somebody doesn't open that door? No more people. Oh, fine. What? Is it not inevitable that you come back to your God? Or what? Hmm. If you're waiting for your God to sit down on his throne. What? We're happy again. Now, if you were God, what? Just saying. What? And there was a holiday named after you and all kinds of things. Would you force it? Or simply give options? So I think the real question is when you go so far outside of hypotheses and evidence, or you don't even know where the evidence is, um, but it's so far beyond the realm of I decide if you can believe or if you can't believe. It's inside you and your ability to understand something like gravity. Uh, it's hard to explain. I would say uh, bending time is possible, but it would also not be. No, it's possible, but not the way you think. It would be lifetimes. It would be thoughts that collide. Um, you'd be in a whole different thought process. You'd have to be comfortable around what you actually see. And I exist outside of time, so I can tell you this. But then it's gonna always point back to the Bible. Like you would have to have the power of the Holy Spirit to actually sustain it, because you'd have to see reality for a landmark rather than what you're actually living in, and you live inside your head. You'd have to. The reason you have to is because like, you yourself are matter. Uh, so your matter inside of this time that continues over and over again, over and over again, and over and over and over and over and over again, and be able to reconcile it. If you couldn't reconcile it, I don't see why you're approaching the theory of relativity at all. Because when you're looking at the universe is constantly expanding, based on what you know. So I would say what's given to you is what you're working with. If there was an art contest and it was, we're going to find out who can paint the best picture of the universe, you know, who was the smartest person on the planet, and he couldn't even get out of the wheelchair. So he had a good idea of it, I think, according to him. According to me, shit, man, my cigarette just went out. Where was that there? There it is. That was more important. So, fuck it. I'll write a theory of relativity. Why not? Um, hmm. Steve Jobs created the iPod. That turned into an iPhone. Then Android came along. Before that, there was iTunes. Before that, there was what, Napster, pirated, what, music. Um, no text messages. Before that, looking at, well, there was the spectrum. Every internet company uses that to even have anything. What? Before that, there was. So if you don't see the progression, then I don't see how gravity didn't play a part in that, because it's your theory. Me, it's simple. You think something that isn't there. Simply what it is. Um, why did you even make this up? It doesn't make sense. What goes up must come down. Uh, what are you breathing? You must breathe oxygen or you will die. This was a huge accomplishment. Um, no, because there's so many factors. Isn't there the God particle and also matter in itself? So you're gonna continue blasting things, hoping to find. There's other galaxies and things like that. Imagine how big my paintbrush is. So, I mean, how does it affect everything? Well, I mean, now you're talking more my language. Winds, hurricanes, earthquakes, things like that. Timing and also cause and effect. I, I'd say that exists. Um, Gravity. hmm. No, it actually exists. Well, then answer me this one question. This this one question. What? Hmm. What? Okay. One question. Why doesn't it move this way? What's controlling that? Then the tides and all of that. And then the water, that thing called the ocean. Why doesn't that? That goes back to who controls how far the waters can go. What? Hmm. And these special things, you know what these are called? You guys have them in your life, right? These little things. Now notice they're small. Are you small? Who says you're small? Lions say you're small. And they do. But who says you're small? Hmm? Hmm. Shy? What? Well, I'm making a point. Other people have cool ass TikTok. Will you get involved in my. Maybe someday it'll be a TikTok. What? So then you see the point, right? God gets involved. Let the cat out. No, I mean, if you don't see the invisible force that communicated with me that said, hey, do this, then we look at this, right? But everybody starts from a controlled environment. So then I would say solar flares and ring of fire, blood moons, things like that. I would say they're under my control. And I do understand a few different things. Um, Polar ice caps versus currents. It's the equivalent of for me, because he calls them by name. The stars, I mean. It moves around. Gravity. Yet it does not change. So it must be a force that cannot. Or why would it? So to me, it's I put this over here. That's where it goes. Now what's inside it is for me. When I decide. If it has use for me, now is it cold now? Seems cold. Now, pay attention. If I do not ensure I can pour this into this, it's like a space station or something, right? Like a spaceship or something. Perfectly. Then I risk. And if I risk, I don't.